those early experiences really created belief systems in me, beliefs about who I was, what I deserved, and what life was supposed to look like. And let me tell you, those beliefs weren't true, but they felt real. That's the thing.
My mission is to impact the hearts and minds of women, helping them change their stories and empowering them to love themselves, their bodies, and their lives.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Change Your Story podcast. I'm Hannah Dawson, your host and transformation coach. I'm a certified personal trainer, nutritionist, mindset coach, writer, speaker, and creator of the Fit Club Babes app, and I am here to help you transform your life. While I love teaching all things nutrition and fitness, and trust me, you'll get lots of that on here, my true passion lies in the power of mindset and self-relationship. I know firsthand how powerful a mindset shift can be. It has profoundly impacted not only my health and fitness journey, but also my relationship with myself, and it can do the same for you too. Many women believe as we age, we lose our beauty, body, and health, but that's not true. You can feel and look amazing and get better with age, and I'm going to show you how. Are you ready to change your story? Let's flip the script one thought at a time. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Change Your Story podcast for kind of part two to my story. And the thought process behind this one is I really wanted to go through each of the parts that I shared with you and share my lessons and reflections, because I really think that it will be powerful for you in going through your story. You may not have went through some of the same things that I have went through, but I know that it will help you be able to understand and see parts of yourself in your life and really help set you free. You know, maybe you resonate with my story on some level, maybe none of the levels, but maybe there are some certain patterns that you can recognize from my story. And maybe you've went through your own like crazy trauma. Maybe it's similar, maybe it's even worse than mine. And not worse meaning, one is worse than somebody else's. I think that's really important to understand too, ladies, is that trauma is trauma. So we can't compare, what impacts our heart and what breaks our heart and what is really traumatic for us. That trauma is trauma, no matter what it looks like. I just wanted to throw that in there. So thank you so much for being here. Welcome to this special series on really going through my story, the pain, the growth, and ultimately freedom. That's the most exciting part, is freedom. So in this first episode, talking about lessons and reflections, I really want to dive into something that we all experience. And it's called the story that we don't choose. None of us gets to pick our family, the environments, or the circumstances that we're born into. But we do get to decide how we respond to them. And ultimately, how we grow beyond them if we're willing. And my hope is that by sharing these lessons and reflections is that you'll feel inspired to reflect on your own and start rewriting the parts of your story that no longer serve you. All right, so let's get into it. You guys, the story we don't choose. As you've heard from my story, I was born into a world that was really chaotic and broken. My childhood was filled with experiences that really no child should endure. Abuse, abandonment, a parent who struggled with addiction. These were things that I didn't choose, okay? And for a long time, they really shaped how I saw myself and my world. And I believed I was broken because that's what my environment taught me, right? All I saw was abuse. All I saw was how to be abused and to abuse. All I saw was poverty. All I saw was, just these situations. And those early experiences really created belief systems in me. Beliefs about who I was, what I deserved, and what life was supposed to look like. And let me tell you, those beliefs weren't true, but they felt real. That's the thing. And so my lessons, my biggest lesson for you from sharing that part of my story, and helping you kind of look at that part of your story is that beliefs can be changed. One of my favorite quotes, and something that I only heard in the last 3 years, but it set me free. And I'm going to share this whole thing in another podcast one day, more so in a different area of my life. I won't get into that now, but it's this. It's one of the most powerful lessons I've learned is just because a belief feels real doesn't mean it's true. And so there's a quote by Louise Hay, and I love her. So if you're looking for some stuff to help you with self-love and healing, her books are amazing. And there's a quote that she says, and it says this: a belief is just a thought, and a thought can be changed. And when I first heard this, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It literally was like unlocked so many things. I never really thought about that before. And so much of what I believed about myself and my worth and my potential, my identity, was rooted in thoughts I had inherited from my environment, not truths about who I really was. And so, we have to get very good at challenging our broken belief systems. A lot of us grow up with broken belief systems. We inherit them from the people that raised us. We often, take them on without even question because they're all that we know. But just because it's the way your parents did things or what they believe doesn't make it right. Many of those beliefs are generational, passed down like heirlooms without anyone stopping to ask, is this serving me? This is why so many people repeat cycles of addiction, abuse, or unhealthy behaviors. They're trapped in beliefs that they've never challenged. It is okay to challenge belief systems. And maybe it's something, along the lines of, finances or wealth or success. Maybe it's along the belief systems of religion and faith. Just because it is what you were taught doesn't make it true for you. And so breaking those cycles has to start with love. Love is the answer to everything. You have to love yourself enough to say this. Just because this is what I was taught doesn't make it right for me. And then you have to take it a step further, and you have to ask yourself, what beliefs align with the life I want to live? What beliefs will set me free? That's the key, ladies. Freedom comes from creating a belief system that reflects who you truly are, and not who the world told you to be, or your parents told you to be, or the environments told you to be. And you will totally be free when you choose to be who you are and what aligns with you, whether it was the way you were raised or what you were told to be. And so reflections on looking at the past, that is what it's going to require in order for you to change your story. So when I look back on my childhood now, I see so much more clearly. I see generational pain that shaped my family. I see how those cycles were never questioned, from addiction. From my grandpa struggling with addiction, even my dad's side, his dad struggling with addiction, poverty on my dad's side. So all of these, abandonment, all of these things, abuse, were really just passed on, and nobody stopped the cycle. I also, see that we have a choice, and I had a choice. I couldn't control the circumstances I was born into. You cannot control what you are born into, but you can choose how to respond to them. And I had to choose how to respond to them as I grew. And this took me until I got into my 30s to really understand that. When I started pursuing, this new identity, this changing my story, this challenging my belief systems, And while it took years to do that, to understand that, once I did, it changed everything. And that quote changed everything for me by Louise Hay. It was like a key that unlocked something, that it's set a part of me free. I thought, oh, there are certain things that I grew up with that I was told by people that, I loved so much and I looked up to so much, you know, and their beliefs were coming from a place of fear, but I took them on as my beliefs. And I wondered for so many years why I struggled with certain things. And I'm like, I'm choosing to not believe that anymore because that belief doesn't serve me. And so here's what I want you to do. Here's your homework. Okay? Here's what I want you to take away from this is, number one, your beliefs are not set in stone. They can be questioned, they can be challenged, and they can be replaced, okay? Number two, you are not your environment. You are not your family, and you are not your past. Number three, freedom comes when you choose to love. Love yourself first, and love for the possibility of a better life. It's not easy to change the beliefs you grew up with. Trust me, it's not. It requires courage, self-awareness, and willingness to let go of the familiar. But I promise you, it is worth it. And when you align your beliefs with what's true for you, and you start to break free from the cycles that have held you back, things will change. Your story will change. You are the author of your life. You get to choose the life you want to live. You get to choose if you are going to be the main character in your story, or if you're just going to sit back and let old belief systems, environments, people dictate how you show up and who you are going to be. You get to create your belief systems. Nobody else gets to do that for you. So if the belief systems that you currently have are not serving you, whether it's about who you are, what you're capable of, your body, your religious beliefs, your financial beliefs, your career beliefs, your life, whatever it is against your identity, you can choose to reject those and create new belief systems. You guys, that is it. That is all for lessons and reflections of part 1 of my story. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for listening to this. So as we go through these, I hope you'll start reflecting on your own story too. What beliefs that you inherited might be holding you back? What's one thought that you could choose today? Remember, you have the power to rewrite your story. I'll see you in the next episode, and I'm going to share my battle with an eating disorder and how fitness became an anchor. I'm going to share my lessons and reflections from that, what I wish I would have known then, and how I can look back at that time and see more broken belief systems and be able to maybe help you if this was a huge part of your life. Maybe eating disorders are still, or maybe disordered eating, or maybe really battle body dysmorphia. I hope that the next episode will really, my lessons and reflections from that will really help set you free as well. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, bye for now.